This feels like a big old Klans rally. That's what it feels like. Not out here, but over there. 'Cause that's what it feels like.
Over there?
Yeah, that's what, yeah, I shouldn't have. Well, I'm talking about in there. In there. Because I was out here earlier today. I saw all the people. I shouldn't have to fit. If we for one another, I shouldn't have to be afraid to go in there.
If I was to take you, let's say, over there to talk to a Trump supporter and have a talk, would you go with me to have a conversation? You want to go with me? Let's go. Let's go get a conversation. Yeah. He'll say he'll talk to a Trump supporter. Let's do it. Let's talk. What's your name again?
I'm Jarvis.
Jarvis, I'm Eli. He has agreed to walk over with me to the pro-Trump side and talk to some of these individuals after previously saying it was like a Klansman rally, but he's also not, you're not afraid.
What I gotta be afraid for? What I gotta be afraid for?
Well, if it was the Klansmen and I was a black man, I would be afraid. I mean, if they really were. But if they're not really the Klansmen, then I wouldn't be afraid. But if they are, then I would. So I'm here with BlazeTV, and I got a guy here named Jarvis. These are some guys from the other side. We were talking a little bit. This is Jarvis. What's your name, man?
I'm Andrew.
Andrew, my name's Elijah. I want to see if you'd be cool to kind of have a little bit of a conversation here on air, because we want to break down the walls where people think that you can't support. We got this guy, he's in black bloc over here, but here, and you got a MAGA hat. These are opposite outfits. You know you guys don't stand for the same thing. So my brother here, Jarvis, all right, and what was your name again?
Andrew.
Andrew, sorry, Andrew and Jarvis. So Jarvis over here was saying two things. Number one, he mentioned that it was like a little bit like a Klans rally over there. Not fully, but a little bit. And he also said that people were calling him the N-word. And the N-word. And these were confirmed Trump supporters calling you the N-word.
Yeah, they were walking by and calling us the N-word, yeah.
It's definitely not a Klan rally. If anything, it would be the opposite, because when I've been walking up through here, I've seen tons of African Americans, tons of minorities. If it was true what was happened to you, I apologize. Like, we don't stand for that. If anything, we need to stand together as a country and just put our differences aside and just have people come together. And we don't really need all of this. Like, calling you the N-word, that's obviously not what we stand for. That's not hopefully what any of us stand for.
If someone's sitting there calling me the N-word like they were over there earlier, and somebody should have said something, and that's how I feel. You know, I mean, people need to take responsibility for their action. But if I'm sitting here calling you a Nazi all day long, and then he steps up and says something, you know, I believe that's what should have happened. You know, but if it don't happen, you know, and people just say yeah, you know, I think that's okay. You know, I feel like they say it's okay because what happens is if nobody says nothing. You know, you're guilty by association, and that's how it is in the world. You're guilty by association. If you say, you know what, I'm not with them, you know, sir, I apologize, you know, then I wouldn't have to look at the crowd like that, you know. But I mean, that's how I felt today. You know, they're out there calling us names and stuff like that, talking about go back to Mexico and stuff like that. So many people ain't even from Mexico. You know, they tell me to go back to Africa. I barely know where Africa is.
We've all been around here for hours, and we haven't seen any of that. And if we did see it, we definitely would stop it. But I would also say that we all get called Nazis. We all get called all these names, but I feel like people just throw that term out there. They don't know what it means. They're calling black people Nazis too. So even like people that were Trump supporters that were black, they're getting called Nazis too. And I feel like that if anyone were to call you that, it's obviously not good. And I feel like you shouldn't just generalize that about people, because that in itself is racism.
Would you be willing to say that by talking to Trump supporters that you realize that not all of them are racist, even if there's some racist people? Because in fact, I mean, somebody out there told me that I was, you know, privileged and that my entire life could be blamed on being white, which I thought was unacceptable considering the fact.
That's racist.
Well, I thought that was unacceptable considering I grew up as a minority in my neighborhood. I lost a job due to diversity quotas. I mean, I've actually been disenfranchised in my neighborhood because it's Los Angeles for that. I'm asking you, when you hear a Trump supporter talking like that and actually having that conversation, do you feel in your mind that you would change your thoughts and your views on Trump supporters? Do you feel vindicated? Do you feel like that apology was enough, or what would you want them to do?
Yeah, man, you know what? It was sincere of him to come out here and say something like that, you know. I accept his apology, you know, but he shouldn't have to apologize for somebody else, you know. But me talking to him, you know, he seemed like he a pretty cool guy, you know. And that's where we need to sit down and we need to talk, you know, because it's not the same. You know, everybody is not out here saying, you know what, in this and in that, in this and in that. And so I don't know how to put it, but I feel like, you know, he was sincere about what he said, you know.
Democratic Party is the party of KKK. They lie to all of us. Yes, they are. It's true. The very first Republican Party were all black. You need to go back to your ancestors. Go to your heart. discover your party, it's Republican. And those who lie to us about this, they are the one who now are blaming us. It's just typical transference. That's the KGB technology, or whatever you called it, to smear. My family was murdered back in former Yugoslavia because they refused to join the communists, because they've gone to church and pray. We were slaves. We were very first slave Slavic people. Women were crucified. Saw the picture of Armenian women crucified, just like Jesus. And they erased those things from the history because they have United Nations have an agenda with the climate change and with all this race. You know, it's all to brainwash people and hope that people will grab on it. Get educated, brother. Your party is a Republican Party. We have to save Republic in order to have a freedom, in order to save this idea, because George Washington could be a king. He chose to be a president. Why? So you and I have a freedom. And I came from a socialist country. I'm a victim of social medicine, and I am learning every day about how to fight. I mean, I became a priestly committeeman. I go to my neighbors, and I'm embraced with understanding. Wow, people have a voice in this country. What Lincoln said, he said, by the people, government by the people, for the people. Let's go back to this. Brother, the Republican Party is your party.
I'm not going to the Republican. I'm not going to be a Republican. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not.
Why not? Hey, Travis, why not, man? You're cracking up. Why? She was serious, though. She was serious. Why not?
Yeah, man. Well, it just from this administration, and you know, I believe, you know, Barack Obama had something to do with it, and Bush, and I believe everybody has something to do with it, but I don't believe in separating children. You know, I don't believe in separating children.
Obama separated children, brother.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I say. I don't believe.
My child was separated from me. The first day of war he was born, they cut me off and take my baby away. Not bad, imagine. And now he was taken from me again and again and again because we follow the law, and he deported himself. Because we believe America deserved to be respected because of the founding fathers, of the blood for this country, which is based on freedom. It's the only country in the world that is free. And ask my friends from New Zealand. They say, oh, America needs to be strong so they can defend us again when Japanese get nuts or do something to New Zealand or any other nation, you know? So it's all about going back to our roots. I'm so grateful.
If this president really cared about families, and he's a Christian the way he says he is, he would put these families back together and let them go together. Not you, because you can't separate a family and have these children over here and then have these parents over here. I don't believe in that. You say you're a Christian. If this president said that he's a Christian,
okay,
you know, are we supposed to love our neighbors?
Yes.
And the Bible talks about us loving our neighbors.
Yes.
But you can't love your neighbors and separate these families. If this man wanted to sign a bill right now and say, put these families back together, let's get them out of here together, that would be better than go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm listening. Go ahead.
How about we go and ask somebody who was arrested for drugs? His child is separated. You know how many children of American citizens are separated today from their parents because they broke the law?
Okay. Check it out though. So like I was telling him over there, okay? If these parents are walking hundreds and hundreds of miles with their children on their backs,
should not do that.
and they're because you don't know what it's like over there. You don't know what it's like over there.
Because I was a refugee. I was delivered my son on the very first day of war. I delivered my son on the very first war.
You said you're a refugee, okay? You said you're a refugee, okay?
I was.
But you was trying to get out of there. You wasn't trying to stay over there. You wasn't trying to stay over there. You can't tell me you was trying to stay over there. After they took your baby, you cannot tell me that you were trying to stay over there.
Okay, what I will tell you is that you don't give your good parents would not give money to drug cartels and smugglers. There are churches, there are legal ways to do it. Don't do it illegally. That's a responsibility of a parent. You have to be responsible for your child. Those children should rightfully be even taken from those parents to give their children in the hands of cartels who rape them. And you know what? One-third of those children, excuse me, one-third of those children were used as a passport. They were taken by men.
Okay, but you hear what you said? You said one-third, okay? So you can't sit here and tell me that every one of them parents that are coming across the border, that is what they're doing. You cannot tell me that. You cannot tell me that.
What do you mean that that's what they're doing?
No, because you said one-third, right? So you got another two-thirds.
The DNA? Yes, they did.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. But you got another two-thirds of people out there that are really trying to get over here for a reason. And it's hard. I know it's hard.
Yes.
I know it's hard.
It is hard. It is hard. But you know what? At the same time, if you want to protect those people on the long run, you know what? They have, even animals follow natural law. In the winter, they go sleep. In the summer, they go out. In the night, they sleep. It's a law. Humans have laws. And you know, this country has to stand for the law. And I know it's painful. I'm having this pain. My baby was taken from me when he was a baby. He was taken, very hurting, very hurting. But I'm not blaming America. I'm not blaming President. My son deported himself because, you know what? Because it's the right thing to do. Not because, oh, I'm blaming you. No. Humans, we have a choice. We have a choice.
So if they bring their children, let's go to quote-unquote children, smugglers. So are you telling me that if they bring their children from across from wherever they came from, you're telling me this. So if they bring their children from wherever they came from to this country right here, okay? That child should be taken from them, and the parents should be sent back, or do you think they should be sent back together?
Do you think? Of course they would like. I would love them to be together. Do you think? Do you think the child of a drug dealer who is arrested, is separated from a father? Do they belong together?
See, because me as a drug dealer, if I'm a drug dealer, no. But if I'm a drug dealer, I either I'm out here selling drugs for the fun of it, and I know my consequence, and I know the consequences. But if I cross the border saying I'm seeking asylum, that's what I'm looking for, is asylum. Okay, because I know what's going on in my country is not what I want for my child. It's not what I want.
Asylum. Why you will go with the drug cartel? Why you will give money to drug cartels?
Are you telling me that everybody that come across that border come with the drug cartel?
There are people who are doing it legally. No, there are people who are waiting in line.
There are people that come in illegal, that legally. There are people that will walk up there, and the congresswoman. She said that I remember there was a video out there about the congresswoman that went down to the border. And they had a video, undercover video, of saying that the Border Patrol isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing to help these people get asylum. How does that work?
Well,
under this administration, how does that work?
I've seen Offens go there. She saw something different than this other congresswoman saw. You know, she said, oh my God, this is a better place than my high school, whatever, kindergarten. These kids are having everything they need. They are treated very well. So, you know, we cannot trust everybody what people say. We have to make a choice. But always ask your heart. Don't buy into hate, because that's what the enemy wants.
I ain't nobody.
Hate Trump. No. Trump sacrificed so much. Think about.
I'm able to trust the leader of this country when he says, you know what? He didn't want to go into the military. I'm thanking
God every day that he didn't go to military. You know why? You know why? Because he could be killed for nothing. Now, and he's being saved to save and fight with intelligence and with the business skill and this character that he has. This is what he's a soldier on a different level. You don't need to kill people with the guns. You can kill them with knowledge.
I am glad to talk to you, man. I'm so glad I got a chance to talk to you.
Dialogue's where it happened. Dialogue's where it happened.
What's your name?
I'm not upset. I'm Jarvis. How you doing?
Okay, give me a hug.
Whoa. Yeah, there you go. Hey, that's what we're about here. That's what we're about. Hey, Jarvis, how you doing? Hey, what was your name?
Veronica.
Elijah. Pleasure to meet you. Jarvis, hey, I'm going to go back over there with you. Good to meet you. Great conversation, guys. Let's go back over, Jarvis.